All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out a joint training exercise between Sweden and the US. Now, this was recommended a lot, and I've seen a few different videos, but today we're going to be checking out one. It's about 8 minutes long, and it's from the Off Track Places YouTube channel. So it looks like it's going to be pretty cool, because this is involving the Swedish Marines, but also on the US side, we have SWCC, which is the Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewmen, basically like the high-speed small craft crewmen. And then we also have the EOTG, the Expeditionary Operations Training Group. Now that's basically like in the Army, we had the Asymmetric Warfare Group, pretty similar. Basically, it's a bunch of instructors with special skill sets that will teach the force. So for me, I went to the EOTG guys whenever I was going through the helicopter insert and extract sort of course. And I gotta say, they have a very, very cool job. So for them to actually go to, it looks like this is being conducted in Greece. So for them to go to Greece to do this training with these guys sounds pretty cool. So it looks like they're focusing more on VBSS, so like ship clearing. So I think this is going to be a pretty dope video. So let's get into it. Ooh. Hold on, sorry, I gotta pause it right away. What is this? Damn, that thing looks freaking, it looks so like minimalistic, but it also looks like insanely fast as well. It looks pretty freaking, it looks like a pretty smooth ride, I gotta say. So I guess that's their small boat that they use for assaulting? Huh. Nice.
Swedish Marines begin the day with energy-sapping training near the coastline at the NATO Maritime Interdiction Operational Training Centre, Swedish.
Okay, nice. That makes sense.
The Swedes are practicing techniques to conduct maritime boarding actions and tactics. US forces are on hand to advise the Swedish Marines on the United States.
Now, I'm kind of wondering what they're doing here. It looks like just general, like, small unit sort of tactics, like kind of maneuvering. I know they're trying to focus on maritime stuff, but I guess it's good to get some land reps in first. Just general, like, breaking the rust or kind of getting the blood flowing, I guess.
Swedes are practicing techniques to conduct maritime boarding actions and tactics. US forces are on hand to advise the Swedish Marines on the United States Navy's Visit, Board, Search, Seizure Training, VPSS.
Okay.
The US forces belonging to Reconnaissance Marines with Special Training Branch Expeditionary Operations Training Group 1 Marine Expeditionary Force and US Navy Special Warfare Combat Craft Crewmen and Special Boat Team 12 and US Naval Special Warfare.
Jeez, I gotta say their hair is like freaking fantastic. Okay, so now it looks like they're sort of practicing some general sort of CQB, which, yeah, if it's nice to go ahead and practice the CQB first, because once you get into a ship, the CQB, that's like the hardest CQB you can do. I guess besides tunnel clearing, yeah, clearing out a ship is rough. So it's nice to get some good reps in where you have a little bit more space to maneuver and whatnot.
And US Naval Special Warfare Group 4 will gradually introduce the VBSS boarding techniques, initially without some of the equipment, such as gas masks. The Swedish Marines will also conduct confined spaces medevac techniques. The Swedish Marines from 4th Marine Regiment Swedish Amphibious Corps will move offshore onto the next phase of training, centered around the ex-Hellenic Naval Academy training ship, the 328-foot-long Aris A74, which is moored along the breakwater in Suda Bay, NATO naval facility.
That looks cool.
The footage ends with Swedish Marines conducting a Dawn VBSS onto the Aris A74 naval ship.
What? Oh, okay. I was like, what are they getting onto? Okay, nice. Yep. Now, when you see this, it doesn't look like that tiring. I mean, it seems like it's just climbing a ladder, but they're putting so much strength into just stabilizing this thing. Even if you have somebody holding it, like, you can tell they're muscling it super hard. Damn, that thing has seen better days, huh? Jeez. Get some tetanus shots before you get on that. I'm liking the beards too. I'm pretty jealous. Not gonna lie. So they're switching to their pistols, which is interesting. I know it's nice for sort of CQB stuff, like really confined spaces. But I mean, they have some pretty short rifles anyway. I understand probably the first couple of guys going up the ladder are going to want to use your pistol, just so you can kind of pop it and clear it easier, as opposed to kind of popping with a rifle. But I haven't done much maritime stuff myself, so if I'm talking out of my butt, feel free to let me know. But I've done ship clearing, and yeah, you definitely want to have a pistol on standby in case you need to use it. So what are they? Oh, okay. So this is what they're talking about with the sort of medevac. That's pretty cool. I haven't done anything like this myself. It seems like most of this sort of cool training, like the specialized medevac stuff, was left to like special operations kind of people. At least getting the opportunity to do it. Was that a tripwire?
Oh yeah. Just freaking trying to make sure you get the phones and you take
Okay. It is a tripwire. That is, oh my gosh. That's something we didn't practice that much. We did a couple times. Now, having any sort of booby trap or sort of tripwire set up like that, sort of IED, inside of an enclosure is never a good time. We had like landslide procedures if we did come across something like that. We weren't really messing around. If there was a sort of IED, generally speaking, we would do like a tactical withdrawal out of there, sort of bounding back while, you know, still holding cover on everything. But on a ship, it's so confined and you have so little time to react to things. And you're generally in these really small, like the P-ways or what have you. And you just want to, you know, keep flowing into spaces because it's kind of a very precarious place to get stuck in. That was hard to say, to be honest. But yeah, you want to kind of just flow into spots. And if there's a booby trap, then you're not going to have a whole lot of time to react to it. So damn, that's kind of cool that they're actually putting in that level of detail into the training.
most likely they're not going to see it, whereas that's a consideration that you have to have for using the visible laser.
Okay, we're talking about using okay, I think I already know how that conversation started. Is maybe some of the guys were being a little bit like laser heavy, which lasers are fantastic, especially for CQB. We weren't really trained to use them so much, well, pretty much at all, unless it was under night vision. But I think that's what he's saying, like daylight considerations, if it's really bright or what have you, it might not be easy to see those visible lasers, or you might not necessarily know which laser is yours. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I haven't trained that much with actual visible lasers for CQB, so I think it'd be kind of cool to see how it works and also see the downsides of it. Now they got the gas mask on. And I hope they have some good seals or else they're going to be fogging up like crazy. Oh, they don't have filters, so I guess that helps. I wonder why they're not wearing filters. They do look like really cool gas masks, though, I gotta say. And they have like this cell tag sort of identification. Yeah, so he's using his pistol to pop. Hold on, what was that tab? I noticed I've seen a couple of them with the tab on their shoulder. I'm trying to see what that is. Oh, I cannot read that at all. Okay. Oh, Jaegers. Okay. How come some of these guys have the Jaeger tab and some don't? I mean, coastal Jaegers, I think the Swedish Marines are the same thing, but I could be completely wrong. So definitely, I'm gonna have to look that up. But yeah, I could be wrong on that. So maybe that's why some have it and some don't. Oh, they have like a zipper on the side of their trousers. That's pretty freaking sweet. That must be super convenient, especially after clearing out a ship when you get like drenched in sweat because you don't realize how hot it's gonna get. Nice. I like how they're rocking nods. I wonder if they're gonna do any nighttime stuff. What was that? What was that noise? Oh yeah, it's getting dark. Oh man, night vision, especially monotube night vision inside of a ship. That's gonna suck because it's gonna get very, very, especially if there's no light inside of the ship, it's going to get extremely dark. And at the same time, inside of a ship, since it's so confined, it gets like a lot more smoky than you would think. So it's nice to have thermals or like, you know, a night vision thermal hybrid setup in case you need to see through the smoke a little bit easier. But yeah, it's going to be pretty hard with night vision, especially with the monotube. The depth perception is going to be like non-existent, especially inside of a small enclosure like that. That's challenging. Yeah, those gas masks. What gas mask is that? It looks so cool.
Ja.
Nice. Okay, very well done. So you can see here, that was like sort of what we called opposing danger areas. So you're kind of holding cross coverage. So this dude is holding in this corner because he has more depth, he can see more, and this guy likewise is holding over here until he's sort of initiating it with the muzzle tip, and then they're sort of breaking off from there and taking down these corners simultaneously. Yeah, that's like textbook right there. Does you have a TP9? Pretty cool. So did they? Oh, they probably. Oh my God! You never want to hear that. Yeah. So I'm guessing they have gas masks because they're doing simunition training, and getting shot in the face with a sim round is not fun. Getting shot in like the neck or it's always the inside of the thigh for me for whatever reason. I think that's probably the worst place to get shot. I'll get shot in the hands and the neck all day, but the inside of the thigh just sucks. I had a recon Marine shoot my thigh out one time because I shot their one man. They did that out of spite. Yeah, they have some nice kit. So he had some flexi cuffs on the back. What else? I'm not seeing a whole lot of like breaching setups. On a ship, the breaching setups don't work nearly as well. You have to think using a ram on, you know, an airtight or a watertight door, it's not going to work very well. Using a Halligan tool is not going to work very well. You can't use a ballistic sort of shotgun the same as you would with a normal door because the doors are just not set up the same. So yeah, with this sort of environment, you need like a buzz saw, or better yet, an exothermic torch would be great for this environment. Nice setups though. They have like a PEC, I think, so laser aim point maybe, and looks like they got flashlights as well. Come on, was it dude falling asleep? Yo, that dude is definitely falling asleep. Dude, you cannot tell me that dude is not falling asleep. I mean, if you guys saw it, let me know, because that's exactly what it looks like to me. Pulling security, and it looks like the sun is rising at this point. Yeah, that dude is struggling. Okay, they got a litter, so they're doing like a little medevac or something. Yeah, it's never fun to have to deal with a casualty, but it's important that you train on these things. They're like, yeah, screw carrying this dude. He's gonna start feeling this friction heat real quick. Hopefully the litter holds up so he's not getting a hole burned into his freaking trousers or something. Getting scraped along the rust. Nice, okay, that was pretty freaking sweet, I gotta say. Good footage. And again, the gas masks are just very aesthetic, especially with like the flexi cuffs and their plate carriers and the cool AK-5Cs, I think is what they had. Yeah, very, very cool. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of audio, and I kind of prefer that because it allowed me to not have to pause a video to kind of explain what we're seeing, which, you know, works out pretty well for these types of videos. But yeah, it looked like a very fun time. And I can tell, I mean, if they're working with the EOTG guys and SWCC, and they're sort of being trained those CQB tactics by them, it makes sense why the CQB tactics pretty much look exactly like what I was trained to do. So it's kind of cool. Again, these guys are very lucky to be able to go to these places. I mean, if you're in a position like that, SWCC, EOTG, EOTG is hard-ish to get into, but it is possible. It's not like a sort of a special operations kind of, well, I guess it can be considered special operations, but it's not like a special forces kind of billet or assignment. SWCC is definitely more in that sort of purview. But yeah, it is a very, very cool thing to get into because you have opportunities like this. It's great to have that training anyway, because those guys do like all the cool stuff, and they train like all the Marine Expeditionary units on all the special tactics. So they're pretty much the subject matter experts when it comes to those sort of special tactics. And it makes a lot of sense why they would rely on them for, you know, instructing these guys. I've known several Marines that have been to Suda Bay to do training and whatnot, but nothing like this as far as I'm aware. But it looks like a good time. Of course, if you guys have anything to add or if you guys happen to take part in this, let me know, because it seems like a good time. Again, I was asking some other questions kind of about the Jaegers and whatnot, and I probably should know the answer to that at this point. But yeah, it's eluding me as far as like the coastal Jaegers or the Jaegers compared to the actual Marines. But let me know what you guys think about this. If you guys have taken part in any sort of exercise similar to it, let me know what you thought as far as the differences in tactics, but also the training environment. Because this ship, again, it's nice to actually train on a ship as opposed to like a ship in the box, which is kind of like we did, like a building that was made to look like the inside of a ship. Worked pretty well, but actually getting into a ship makes a whole world of difference. Because like for me, when I was doing like opposing force stuff, or when I was going onto a ship to clear it out, it was super freaking sketchy because you have like a million different levels and a million different nooks and crannies that you can't really get in a sort of ship in the box setup. And I think if you guys have operated in a ship in any sort of capacity, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And of course, thank you for the recommendations. There was one person on Instagram that was really, really wanting me to react to this specific exercise. So I'm glad I was finally able to do it. So I do appreciate you guys and your persistence in getting me to react to these videos, because they're always very, very cool to check out. But that is it for this one. I will see y'all in the next one.